Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video today I'm reacting to the Nordic Air Force, and this is from the countries Finland, Norway, Denmark and Sweden. So I'll be doing a few reactions about the Air Force, kind of learn about the different fighters, aircrafts, just stuff like that. So I find that quite interesting. And it says featuring the F-35, F-16, F-18 and the JAS39, which I've done a reaction to before on this channel, which you can find. So let's get right into the video today and let's kind of find out some more interesting facts. I like these type of videos, so let's get right into it.
Let's take a look at how 4 Nordic nations have established a unified air force and how these 4 fighters made this possible. On March 24th, the air forces of Finland, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway announced an agreement to operate their combined forces of over 200 fighter planes as a unified Nordic air defense force.
That's quite a smart idea.
This was a historic first between these countries and was ratified via a Joint Declaration of Intent, or JDI, on March 16th at Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany. United States Air Force General James Hecker, who is also the head of NATO Air Command, was present for the signing. Today, we will take a look at what this means for the region, what fighter planes comprise this newly formed air force, and what each jet brings to the table in terms of operational capability. The decision to unite the air forces of 4 nations under one command carries with it the ultimate goal of being able to operate seamlessly together as one force. This newly formed air force rivals that of a large European nation in numbers, and command and control is to be established by developing a Nordic concept for combined air operations, which will be based on an already known and established NATO methodology. It is important to point out.
Okay, so this is quite interesting that they all combine, because I did a previous video about what happens if all the Nordic countries kind of united. So this is kind of cool that the air force between all these different countries is coming together, because together they're a lot stronger than separate, of course.
Out that when this agreement was reached, Finland and Sweden were not yet part of NATO. However, on April 3rd, Finland became the 31st member of NATO, and as of this recording, Sweden is expected to formally become a member soon.
I mean, that did happen as far as I know.
If all 4 nations are or will soon become part of NATO, why the need for a seemingly separate Nordic Air Force? There are actually 4 reasons that have been cited in the document which was shared following the agreement. First, combining the Nordic Air Forces allows for integrated operations, planning, and execution. This makes sense since the operating environments and conditions are very similar in the 4 countries involved. Secondly, the alliance allows for flexible and resilient air basing, meaning runways and maintenance facilities can be used by the partner nations more openly. Then there's the third factor, shared situational awareness. It's hard to imagine, but prior to this agreement, each of the 4 nations had to conduct their intelligence assessments and tracking of aircraft independently. The new agreement creates a common contiguous defense zone that essentially covers the Baltic Sea. And finally, the 4th reason states...
Okay, so a lot of benefits. Obviously, the Baltic Sea, that's a very important region. They get access to more bases and similar climates. So yeah, I see a lot of positives. I mean, it definitely makes a lot of sense for them to come together like this.
Is an allowance for common air education, training, and exercises to be held, allowing crews to cross-train and mutually support each other's forces. Alright, now let's get into the aircraft specifics for each of the 4 nations involved and what each platform brings to the newly formed alliance. Starting with Norway, who had been operating the Lockheed Martin F-16 Fighting Falcon up until 2022, which has been replaced by the Lockheed Martin F-35A Lightning. Norway has over 50 F-35s and is one of the early adopters of the Lightning, having acquired their first F-35s all the way back in 2017. In fact, Norway was the 4th country to acquire the Lightning after the United States, Israel, and Italy. The F-35 is without a doubt the most numerous and successful 5th-generation stealth fighter, with some 900 examples delivered and over 600,000 flight hours logged on the global fleet.
Wow, that's a lot of flight hours.
The Lightning has also won several high-profile fighter competitions, more on that later. As to what the Lightning brings to the table, we can start with sensor fusion and an airborne command node. Along with stealth or low observability, the F-35 was designed to integrate and leverage Allied air assets and air defenses. This integration is so thorough that the F-35 has been often referred to as a quarterback in the sky, capable of directing assets and reading the enemy signal.
I mean, that's a massive compliment, a quarterback of the sky. That's a huge, like, compliment to this.
Plan its next
F-35.
moves. The F-35 also makes use of a distributed aperture system, or DAS, which provides 360-degree spherical situational awareness via cameras and sensors placed throughout the aircraft. Additionally, the F-35's fleet is being upgraded to the Block 4 standard, which, among many things, include numerous improvements in computational power, avionics, new weapon options, and even a more powerful radar that can detect and track targets at much longer ranges than today. I've done an entire video on the F-35's upgraded radar. I'll leave a link in the description below.
I love learning more about the technology
behind these. Given the F-35's current and planned
jets.
capabilities, along with its lowering per unit cost, we can begin to see why the Lightning has won virtually every fighter procurement competition it has entered, including those for Finland and Switzerland. Moving on to the next partner in the Nordic Air Defense Agreement, Denmark, which currently operates over 40 F-16s with 27 F-35s on order. The F-16 Fighting Falcon, or Viper, is a fourth-generation fighter which was initially designed as a day air superiority fighter.
That was close.
However, throughout its long and storied career, the F-16 evolved into a true multi-role platform, implementing the first use of relaxed static stability or fly-by-wire flight control system. The F-16 is an agile aircraft and an excellent dogfighter. With over 4,500 examples built, the F-16 is the world's most numerous and combat-proven fourth-generation fighter. Although the F-16...
I mean, 4,500 examples, yeah, that definitely is a great fighter. I mean, if it's been in that many battles...
is a non-stealth platform, it features low operating costs, high reliability,
that's always a positive, low
and mission
costs.
Flexibility in both air-to-air and air-to-ground roles. Denmark's F-16s are an excellent placeholder as their new F-35s are delivered and become operational. Next, we turn to Finland, who is currently operating some 50 F-18Cs, with 64 F-35s on order. Like the F-16, the F-18 or Hornet is a multi-role fighter. However, unlike the F-16, the Hornet was designed for carrier operations and features an arresting hook, folding wings, and landing gear specifically designed to operate off of carriers. Finland's Hornets are land.
I do have to say, I really like the design though. It looks a bit different to the others and definitely stands out to me. I mean, it's a great fighter jet, but the design, I'm really liking the look of it.
Based, and while also a non-stealthy fourth-generation fighter, the F-18 is a combat-proven platform with relatively high mission-capable rates. Moreover, since Finland shares a land border with Russia, Finnish Hornets have extensive experience flying near the border and likely tracking Russian aircraft that are in proximity to their mutual border.
I remember that covered in like another video I reacted to about Finland and NATO and about how close they are to Russia, man, and the border. So that's very important. So they need kind of the best weapons, the best fighter jets, best everything, really.
Still, the Finnish Hornets are nearing the end of their service lives, which is one reason that Finland has placed the largest order for new F-35s of the 4 Nordic countries. And last but certainly not least is Sweden, which finds itself in a unique position. While Norway, Denmark, and Finland are all moving to the F-35, Sweden is opting for the latest version of the Gripen, the JAS39. Aside from being an excellent aircraft, the Gripen is also designed and manufactured in Sweden. The Gripen is an extremely reliable, low-cost-to-operate, multi-role fighter designed specifically to operate in the harsh Nordic environment. Today, Sweden operates about 70 of their C&D models, which are powered by a Volvo RM12 engine, a license-built version of the GE F404 engine, similar to those found in legacy Hornets such as the ones operated by Finland. The vastly improved E model of the Gripen will be powered by a General Electric RM16, which is similar to the F414 engines found on the Super Hornet. The E version will also feature advanced avionics and electronic countermeasures, which should provide an offset to the Gripen airframe's 4th generation design. In terms of the Nordic Alliance, the C&D versions will likely be used in similar ways that the 4th generation F-16s and F-18s are used, while the E version of the Gripen will likely be deployed in roles that are more aligned to the F-35's tasking, providing advanced detection along with command and control capabilities in a fighter-sized airframe. The formation of a unified Nordic Air Force is a direct response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine last year. In terms of deterring and potentially combating Russian aggression, this significant agreement has the potential to benefit all parties involved.
So I think it's good they're all coming together. I mean, the war in Ukraine, that's obviously a tragic event. And no one wants a world war, so it's good they're all combining their forces to try and prevent that from happening. So that is really good to see.
While each Air Force brings unique capabilities to the table, they also share many similarities beyond their proximity. Collaborating would enhance the effectiveness and potency of air defense tasks and aerial surveillance, as well as providing greater flexibility and unpredictability in war planning. In today's era of multifaceted aerial threats, ranging from traditional fixed-wing aircraft like fighters and bombers, to low-altitude cruise missiles, swarms of drones, and even hypersonic weapons, pooling resources for air defense makes more sense than pursuing an independent approach. This holds true from both a strategic and economic standpoint, particularly when confronting a common enemy with a potentially larger force. What do you think? Is the formation of a Nordic Air Force a good idea?
Yeah, definitely a good idea.
How does NATO fit into this overall setup? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see how the F-35 won so many fighter competitions, you'll want to check out the videos in the playlist I've made. Click or tap the thumbnail on your screen right now to watch the first video in the series.
Okay, I might have to check out that video. That definitely seems very interesting to me. But wow, I really enjoyed this video about the different type of fighter jets that all the different countries are using. I mean, the F-35 definitely stood out to me because it seems like a lot of companies are going to be started using that instead of the other ones. There's the F-16, which look very impressive, the F-18, which I really like the design of. And then the JAS39 Gripen, which I did a reaction to before. And that's an extremely impressive piece of hardware, man. Like, the creation is really powerful, is cost effective, and is very advanced, like, technology that used to guide it. And it's just like a really impressive piece of technology, like I said. So I probably need to find out more about the F-35, because if a lot of countries are kind of adopting it, they're kind of using it from now on, I definitely like to know more. That's definitely very interesting. But I do think a Nordic Air Force is a good idea, because it's good they're uniting. Like I said, they have similar climate, they have similar trainings. It just makes a lot of sense that it's very good to prevent World War III. So if you guys want more reaction videos like this, let me know. And I kind of enjoy these videos because I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm learning more about the Air Force, stuff like that, which I don't really have much knowledge on at all. So it's definitely very new to me, but I find it very interesting. I'll see you guys next video. Have a great day, everyone.